What's up, YouTube? I'm William, and welcome back to another episode of the Rtrs Rant Show.
This is the Rtrs Rant Show. Rtrs Rant Show. Rtrs Rant Show. Rtrs Rant Show.
Rtrs Rant Show.
This is the Rtrs Rant Show.
So, if you're new to my channel, head over to last week's and don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and don't forget to comment and like this video and share it. Let everybody know what's going on the Rtrs Rant Show. And let's go. So on today's episode, we have a struggle plate. You have you have your veggie burger chicken patties with buffalo sauce, sweet and hot pickles from Favor's Days, and Checkers fries. So let's get into it. All right. So last week's episode, we talked about one of my last trips. One of my last trips doing the delivery people service. So today, I guess we're gonna talk about the last trip. Yeah. So my last trip delivering people, I can't remember the exact time, the date. But I do know it was getting cold outside. So I decided to turn on the app. I turn on the app first, and then I wait, and then I drive through the city the short way. I live not too far from Eastover, and that's the way that I go into the city. So I turned on the app at home, and then I drove through Eastover, and I picked up a ride. It was over there. I don't know, Atlantic Street? I don't know. So I picked up Homeboy. He got in the car. We were talking. The man told me that, he was a manager. He was a manager at a hotel. He just had a baby. And he was doing real good for himself. I was like, okay. And those of you who work who drive for these companies, you become a therapist. You tell people, they tell you their problems. You give them advice. you real life become a therapist. So he asked me, can I do him a favor? 2 favors. The first favor was to take him to the liquor store in the middle of his trip. So I was like, okay, cool. He asked me what was I drinking. I was like, well, I ain't never been asked this before. So I said, if it's payday, I'm drinking Hennessy. And if it's not payday, I'm drinking, some type of vodka. So your man going in the store, he comes out with a pint of Hennessy. So I'm like, oh, we real life friends now. We cool. Nobody ain't never buy me no Hennessy before. Never. So he was like, all right, I need you to do me a favor and take me to my man's house, which that was his original. Right. So I was like, cool. So I took him to his man's house, and he was like, all right, so the other favor is I want you to wait for me. And you can keep the meter running. I was like, okay, cool. So we get to his man's house, which is around the corner from his house. He could have literally walked. It's probably like a 5-minute drive. So we get to his man's house. I'm waiting for him. I want to say I waited for like 30 minutes. But in that 30 minutes, he was in and out the house, and we were talking. And we were just talking. So then after, he gets whatever he gets, which now I know what he got. But at the moment, I didn't know what he was getting at his homeboy's house. He gets in the car. He's like, all right, let's go. I'm like, all right, cool. So, taking him back on his way back to his house. He asked me to take him back to the liquor store. I'm like, okay, cool. It's right before 12 o'clock. On the way, he's talking about his friend. How his friend had a baby mother who treated him dirty. Not him, but his friend. His friend treated his friend dirty. And how he wanted to kill her. So I was like, oh, that's what we doing? And he was just going on talking about how she kept making him feel, you know, less than a man and treating him like he's stupid and everything he do is not good enough. I was like, look, just tell your friend, okay? Don't do it. So he gets out. I go downtown to do Uber. I was gone for at least like 2 or 3 hours. It had to be a Saturday because the liquor store was open to 12. And come to find out, y'all, his friend that he was talking about was him. He was planning to kill his baby mother. And I took him to go pick up the gun. Damn, it's hot. Am I sweating? I am sweating. So, I took him to go pick up the gun. So I coming back, I left Eastover way, I came back the same way I left. For some strange reason, I don't know why. Right before I get in the house, I get a request for another ride. It's your man again. Like, what are the odds of you getting the same person twice in the Uber ride? I forgot to turn it off, to be totally honest. I looked at the request. It was just, I was like, this name looks familiar. So I pull up to the same address. He's standing on the corner smoking with a little knapsack. So he gets in the car, and it seemed like he already knew who I was. Well, I don't know. He was like, man, that'd be lucky. I would have smoked her if she wasn't holding my baby. So I'm a little bit uneasy. I'm just like, okay, what happened in that short period of time? You smoking cigarettes, now you want to smoke people? I don't get it. So he gets in the car. He goes, take me to my man's house. And mind you, I just took him to his man's house a few hours ago, so I remember exactly where it was. We pull up to his man's house. He goes, did I tell you to stop right here? So I inched up the street. And at this time, he's really drunk. I don't know what he bought, but he bought a lot of liquor for himself, I guess, to go through with the situation he was about to go through. So pull up to his man's house. He told me to pull up the street. I go up 5 houses. Then he passes out in the back seat. So at this point, I'm trying to wake him up. I'm like taking his shirt, shaking him, like punching him in his chest like this, trying to get him up. He's not getting up. I take him back to his house. I'm still trying to wake him up. He's not getting up. The police are, doing their job. They're going around the neighborhood, because it's, in the hood, the police they go around the neighborhoods. So police are driving by. I could easily hop out the car and tell them, what happened. But, the sober him, me and the sober guy, we became cool. Well, I didn't want to mess his life up. You know, everybody do stuff that they not proud of when they drink. And this probably one of them for him. So then as I'm shaking him, I noticed that he had a little knapsack. This is when I first noticed it. So I looked inside of it. It was a gun. I moved the gun to the front seat and then proceeded to keep shaking and waking. But it didn't work. So his phone rang. I answered it. I thought it was his baby mother because it was a girl's name. So I answered it. I said, B, is this his baby mother? Because he trying to kill you. She was like, no, it's his niece. I was like, okay, niece. When your uncle is drunk, passed out in my backseat, this is his Uber ride. He needs to come to your house ASAP. She's like, let me call you back. I said, call me back? 2 minutes later, she called back. She was like, yeah, he can come over. I had to ask first. I was like, you got to ask for your own family member to come over your house? Anyway. So, this was over in Southeast. His niece lived in Cherry Hill Apartments. I got there in like 3 minutes. I don't even remember how, which way I went, but I just know I got there expeditiously. So we get there. I take him exactly where his nieces were. His nieces couldn't get him out. One of them was extremely young, and the other one was young and pregnant. So I told him to move. Move out the way. I proceeded to get him out the back seat, lean him up, get him by his shoulders, and like drag him out the car. Everything fell off and out. His shoes fell off. Everything fell out of his pocket. His money, his coins, his phones. His pants fell down. It was just the worst. So at this point, he's getting out the car. He's coming to. He's getting up. And I still had my bottle of liquor in the front seat. And my front seat door was open where his bag was. So I should have kept the bag. I don't know what I was going to keep it for. But I gave the bag to his niece with the gun. And he was trying to reach for the bottle. So I'm standing in front of the door. And his niece was in front of me. And I guess it looked like I was touching her to him. So he bucking, talking about, touch her again, I'll knock you the F out. I was like, okay. That's what I wanted you to do that. You're not too bad without your knapsack. So then he started to walk down the street, and I just closed the door and I just left. And the next day I called the job that I was waiting for and told them I can't wait no more. I need to start now. Who that say? I ain't gonna call. I called the company that I was driving for and the job that I was waiting for and told them I couldn't do it anymore. It's too dangerous. It's dangerous. If you're a woman and you driving services are dangerous. If you're a woman and you work for one of the driving services, you need to make sure that you are protected. Because I know I was taking people to do bad things. Drug runs, picking up old men, taking them to these alleyways. It was crazy. But yeah. And that was my last ride. now every time I get in one, I always ask the people to tell me their craziest stories. And some of them have them and some of them don't. And 9 times out of 10, you got some crazy stories if you work longer than a month. You're gonna have some crazy stories. I remember my first 2 rides and my last 2 rides. It's hot in here. My first ride, I had a huge lady who sat in the front seat, and I picked her up on 8th Street, and she lived all the way in Silver Spring. But she gave me a big tip. Then the second one, the lady, she reminded me of my great aunt. She gave me a big tip, but she was drunk. And then my last 2. But yeah, that's it. All done. Alright, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, share, like, give it a thumbs up. And I guess tune in next week and see what I have in store then. I'm still trying to get more interviews. But I'll let you later. Peace out.